Tyrion Lannister is not, nor has he ever been, a secret freaking Targaryen. Okay? And it's okay, I recognize that this is my plague. This is my curse to carry, everyone telling me that no. If you just stop and think, if you just believe hard enough, I do believe in fairies, I do. He's really a Targaryen, I swear to And this is absolutely no shade to the person who left the comment. I totally get it. It's cool. But let's talk about this because there is a very simple reason why Tyrion Lannister is not a secret Targaryen. And I will tell you right now, it's very simple. Are you ready? Narrative. The answer is narrative. Because you see, here's the issue with a lot of theories, and this isn't, specific to this fandom, just fandom in general and theorizing about things, is people think about the construction of their theories wrong. Sorry, my opinion, you can disagree, but they think that, all the elements of the story are these pieces, these puzzle pieces. You have the characters, you have the plot lines, you have all like the little lore dumbs, yum, it's so cool. But they do ultimately think of them as puzzle pieces. And so the theorist goes, let me put my theorist cap on. I'm gonna look at all these puzzle pieces and look, I can construct the picture myself. Look, and this is the theory and this is why it works because look at how all the pieces fit together. Isn't this brilliant? And to that I'd say no, because you're using the wrong metaphor here because these elements in these stories, they're not puzzle pieces and you are not putting together the greatest puzzle that ever existed. A more apt metaphor for the plot and character elements that people like to use to construct theories are, instead of puzzle pieces, are actually Legos. So yes, you can take all of the pieces that are around and you can build a thing and you can point to the thing and say, look at this theory, look at how I constructed it, look at all the pieces I used, look at how they fit together and how this very much looks like the thing that I'm talking about. But here's the issue, because I can look at all of those pieces and say, hey, yes, I'm gonna construct my scale model of Winterfell, and isn't it cute, isn't it great? But I can also take all those pieces and build the Death Star. That, obviously, that isn't, the right thing. And so this becomes the danger in theorizing, because what if things fit? Sure, but that isn't the whole thing. Yes, I can build a thing, any theory. I can build any theory. I can build a theory that Tyrion is actually, a time-traveling fetus that is actually the child of Daenerys Targaryen and Khal Drogo, sent back in time by Mirri Maz Duur to go basically marry his mother again, because, time-traveling fetus Tyrion, he wants to marry Daenerys so that they can, do like ultra Targaryen incest. It's gotta be ultra, man. That's obviously ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But you know what? I can build it from the pieces that exist in the story. I used my Legos and I made the thing. Someone made that, and to a certain sect of the population, it makes sense. And that's because construction of the theory from the available pieces isn't everything. And we keep forgetting a crucial element of what makes a theory viable. And I spoiled it right at the beginning, narrative. How does this theory fit into the narrative of the story? Because yes, I can put it together, I can make the thing, but if it doesn't make sense with the narrative, then it's probably not right, because why? And that's the big question with the Tyrion being a secret Targaryen. What is the point of it? And I know you have so many answers. I know they're ready, you are typing away. You probably typed them already. Cool, I'll answer you with a snide remark of like, hey, maybe watch the video first next time, it's cool. Well, let's go through a few of them just so I can, point out how narratively it doesn't make sense. Now to do this, here's what I'm gonna have to ask everyone to do. I need you to take your tinfoil conspiracy theorist hat off for just 2 seconds, and instead, we need to put on our writer-editor hats. I know that's not the fun hat, but that's also what I do. So let's look at it. Let's think from a writer's perspective, what this would mean for the narrative, why it would be included, and is there a reason? Spoiler, there isn't, but let's do it anyway. Okay, so what are some reasons that people state for there being a point to this? Well, the big one that I hear over and over again is, what would be the irony if after all this time, Tywin had a reason to hate Tyrion? That, because Tyrion is a secret Targaryen, that's the reason, that's the real reason that he's always hated him. Okay. Okay, so Tywin needs a real reason to hate Tyrion outside of the fact that Tyrion is a dwarf who, Tywin would hate because he thinks that that's an embarrassment to himself and his house, who he has spent his entire adult life trying to prop up after the shame brought onto House Lannister by his father Tydos. Also, Tyrion, his mother coming into the world, obviously unintentionally because that's a child, but Tywin, of course, would recognize the nuance in that and not just blame the child for the death of the only woman that Tywin has ever loved. Ever. It said the only time that Tywin ever smiled was at their wedding. Weird. But no, sure, those aren't enough reasons for Tywin to have an irrational hatred of Tyrion. The real reason has to be that Tyrion is a secret Targaryen who he knows about but has put up with for 20 odd years? So you're telling me after this child, who he knows is a secret Targaryen, caused the death of his wife, he was like, yeah, I'll keep the kid. Huh. Okay, but what if he doesn't know? What if he doesn't know? And so, but this is like the secret reason and Tywin doesn't even realize it. So like Tyrion is just there and it's like an insult to Tywin his entire life. Okay, but who cares? Who cares that Tywin's he gone? There is no point of this reveal because the person that this would actually hurt is Tywin, and Tywin isn't around to be hurt by it anymore. So narratively, this doesn't have anything to do with Tywin. Either him knowing it, doesn't make sense logically with the plot as we've actually established it in the text, and then if he didn't know, and the point of it is like, a final insult to Tywin, well, we missed our moment. Okay, well, what if this whole identity thing has to do with Tyrion? Okay, small issue with that. Tyrion's whole arc has to do with the unfairness of his lot in life. He should be, enshrined in this privilege and be able to wield it as a member of, the highest of highest classes here. But because of his disability, but because of how the world, and, the world as represented by Tywin, views him, he is stymied. He has doubters. He has people who do not take him seriously, who mock him. He has all this unfair shit put on him, and it's put a chip on his shoulder. And so as the story goes on, we watch him, try and fail and sometimes succeed to kind of rise above that, to show like that he does have worth, that he does have intelligence, that he is just as smart as his father, that he is just as cunning, that he is just as capable of leading and inspiring and all this good stuff, in spite of everyone not believing in him and thinking that he's lesser than and thinking that he is unworthy. Okay, but hey, let me tell you, Tyrion, actually, no, there's a legitimate reason that your dad hated you. Yeah, so I know that this like chip on your shoulder has been like rough all your life, but it's justified. It's fully justified because like Tywin should have hated you. You are the offspring of a crazy person, and because of that, your mother died, and because of that, like you are you have the disability that you have, because that's again part of the whole heiress theory, is that explains why Joanna passed in childbirth. That explains why Tyrion has his disabilities, but yeah, no, it all makes sense, and it's all like kind of your fault, that everyone hates you. Obviously, it wouldn't actually be his fault. Joanna didn't want these unwanted, advances from Eris, but saying that the entire world wasn't wrong in their feelings about him, that there like was a reason that like was legitimate that he was treated this way, really just undoes a lot of work now, doesn't it? And again, the point of Tyrion's story, and especially in relation to Tywin, is that they are the same. Tywin is just like Tyrion. He's just as lustful, he's just as dishonest, he's just as cunning and vengeful and spiteful. When Tywin lists the things of all the things he hates about Tyrion, they are all qualities that Tywin has. And so the irony of this relationship is that Tyrion is the son that Tywin would have always wanted, but he comes in a form that Tywin hates. And when Tyrion is about to off Tywin and Tywin says, "You're no son of mine," he responds, "I am you writ small," because he is Tywin's son. Good night.